Welcome back to the Daily Trading Journal. What a fool that you are looking at today. Gonna get into some really focused mental struggles. Not even gonna look at charts today because I am learning so clearly that trading is like 10% about what you know about how to trade and 90% in your head. Because that is where you win or lose. You win or lose before you ever even know how to recognize a chart pattern. And this isn't making sense. It's going to have to like flesh out throughout this video. And this is truly a journal for myself. This is totally for me. If you get any value from this, then fantastic. This is educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a certified financial planner or a certified financial advisor. In fact, I am making terrible decisions day trading right now. And so if you follow what I'm doing, you may in fact lose. So keep that in mind, that this is truly a journal trying to become a proficient day trader. I'm not trying to become a millionaire or make money or do anything like that. I am literally trying to hone my mind and my skills. And this has been the most revealing journey of my career, and it has been the best thing for me. It shows me how little, okay, well, legal disclaimer over, we're just getting right into it. It shows me how little I actually have grasped my mental faculties, how I'm so easily swayed emotionally. And I absolutely love trading for that reason. There is literally nothing that you can do to lie about who you are, how you feel, and how you respond to wins and losses. Just a little background on myself. I was a professional athlete. I got placed second in the world for wake skating. If you don't know what it is, I don't blame you. Not many people do. But wake skating, I was second in the world at age 13, and that doesn't even come close to the mental battle that you face in trading, to having to face yourself and realize that you literally dug a hole for yourself. And it didn't have to happen. I believe that boredom is the reason that 93% of day traders fail. Like, I don't think day traders fail. And what I mean by that is if you have a grasp on your mental faculties, if you can weather boredom, if you can weather greed, if you can overcome the need to act, you will not lose. And I feel like that was what totally happened today. So again, this is just a lot of just rambling thoughts because I'm trying to work through what gets activated when I go on these loss rampages. Okay, now just so you know, I lost $86 today. Yesterday I made $106. So, I'm still up $20 on the week. Actually, the day before I think I made 25. So I'm still up $50 on the week, which is fantastic. Like, that's great. I mean, my account is up. However, I had no reason to trade today. I did not see my setup. Looking back, everything I entered was a good stock to enter. Everything I entered ended up going up. However, I am so poor at trading positions that kind of do these dip and moves. I don't know how to read the tops and bottoms. I'm not good at that. What I'm really good at is pre-market high, gap and goes with a lot of momentum. I mean, moving 15 to 45% in a matter of minutes. Like, that is what I'm really good at. What I'm really bad at is these highs and lows, right? So it's making new highs and lows, but I end up getting caught in the high. It pulls back. I sell because I have no idea how low it's going to go because I've not worked on this skill on that specific chart pattern. I get flushed out, and then all of a sudden it rips back up again. And then I buy in again, and then it dips back down, and then I rip it up again. It's the whole cliche of, oh, I buy high and sell low, right? Like, I think people who say that are similar to where I am right now. So they bought high, they sold low, they bought high, they sold low, and they never took the time to learn why they kept getting bamboozled, so to speak, by the market. Why did they not take the time to learn what they were doing wrong? And that is where I'm at. The problem with what I did today is I didn't see my perfect setup and I kept using full size. I told myself, when I opened my computer this morning, I said, you don't have to trade today. You are up 58% on the week. You do not have to trade today, Ben. What did I do? Setup wasn't there. I wanted money. I wanted to grow my P&L, which again is something I told myself yesterday. Don't focus on P&L. Don't focus on account growth every single day. You're not going to win every single day. I hear it over and over and over from other trading successful traders. And what did I do? I forced and I got failure. 2 days before, I followed for favor. And this exact thing happened to me last week. I'm literally repeating what happened last week. Luckily, I decided to shut my computer down. I should have shut my computer down at the same moment I should have shut my computer down last week. So last week, we'll recap real quick. I was up 26%, I think 26%. And I thought, okay, great. Come into the next day, down 9%. Should have just cut out, just completely cut out. But I kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And all of a sudden I'm down 21%. And that, the money, when I look at it, it really is not the money because my account it's not dipped below PDT. I've not lost more than I can manage. It is the fact that I know that mentally I want to be better than this. And that is the goal. That is the goal. Because if you can conquer the emotional side of trading, the setups are cake. And I even just told you that I don't understand the setup, but that doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter that I don't understand the setup. What matters is that I emotionally enter because I see a stock moving up and I want it to go higher, rather than mentally saying, that's a tap trap. That's about to tap and flush. And then it'll make another tap and then it'll flush. But because I do not have grips on my mental faculties, because earning money is a very emotional thing for a lot of people. And even when I talk to myself, Ben, you don't even need the money. What you need is to develop a discipline of trading. But it is so sneaky. It is so sneaky. I'm very happy today that I did not give back more than I gained yesterday. I am very unhappy that I traded more than 2 times. Especially that I didn't just do like some, test trades, like one share. Like if I would have been 1 share. Okay, here's the thing though. Let's talk about this. If I would have traded 1 share, I would not be as frustrated as I am now. And so again, last week was amazing. That I screwed up so much, continued to clarify that I do not have the mental control to be trading with any sort of large size. However, it is insidious that me as a human wants that size because I want to see my account grow. However, every time I screw up, I actually lose confidence that I know what I'm doing. And so I'm really grateful that I traded some good size the beginning of this week because it allowed me to take some gains. However, as soon as I got off track, I kept pushing with that full size, though I did not have a plan. And that is the real issue. Those 2 that I traded yesterday and the 2 that I traded the day before. I think I actually only traded 1 position the day before. I had no doubt that I was on to my pattern, that this is going to work. I had total conviction. Today, I didn't have a clue. I had no clue. I had no clue what was going to happen. I was placing bets. I was gambling today. And that is what makes me 10 times more angry than the $86 I gave back to the market. I should be meticulously and mechanically placing positions based on the patterns that I know. For my own sake, again, if you're still watching this, bless you, because this is truly the ramblings of my journal as I am trying to lasso my mind, lasso my emotions, bring them under discipline, and become a better person. Okay. My worst trading setups contain low or decreased volume, consolidating after a big move, playing on the upper end of a reversal, stock pulls, i.e. the stock pulls back, but then reverses, moves up 10 to 20 cents, at which point I'm tempted to hope it will move higher, but usually it cuts back and continues lower. Tap trap near key resistance level. That is exactly what happened on every single bad trade today. That is what I did. I bought at the high and then I sold at the dip. Bought at the high, sold at the dip. And it just did that all the way up. And I bought the highs, sold the lows. Bought the highs, sold the lows. All the way up. Even though it was moving up. My best setups are high volume, high relative volume, gap up a pre-market as the stock approaches pre-market high. There are two good entries for me. Enter 2 to 3% before pre-market high when good volume. That way, if it is a tap trap, I have a buffer to get out. Wait for confirmation. That the second is to wait for confirmation that it will hold above pre-market high and continue up with strong volume, i.e. breakthrough, micro pullback, holds above pre-market high level, and then make the entry and move up on volume. Those are my bread and butter setups. That is what I did yesterday. Had 2 entries yesterday. I had 2 positions yesterday. 4 total trades. Entry, exit, entry, exit. Captured 39%. Today I traded I had 17 entries and exits. That is a bad trading day. That is searching for money, not following the strong setups that I know I am good at. Am I glad for today? Absolutely. It shows me that I still don't have control and discipline based on what I am aiming for. Right now, I know that I trade the gap and goes well. I don't often have the patience to hold through a high moving up. So a high moves up. I don't have the patience or even the understanding to know necessarily how. I mean, this is broke down, which is fine. But what's crazy about one of the trades I could have taken today is I could have easily claimed 45 cents up to 56, 57 cents easily. That was my move. I don't know where I was. It was the perfect setup. It was the absolute perfect setup. Broke through the 50-cent range and then moved up to 58. So 50 to 58. Let's see what that would have been. That was the small part of the move. 16%. Plenty. And that happened. What time was that? At 8:33. At 8:33, that was the move. Right as market was opening, right as everything was good to go. I don't know where I was at that point. I don't know what I was trading. Let's check. And again, if you're still watching, this is for educational entertainment purposes only, and this is truly a personal journal. And if you get anything from it, I'm very grateful, and I'm hopeful that you can learn from what I'm doing here, the mistakes I am making, the lack of mental fortitude that I face, on a day-to-day, and the strong days, and the disappointments of knowing that you, myself, were not strong enough to make good decisions. Okay. So at that point when the stock was moving up, I bought 10 shares. So I was actually in at the right point. So COSM, I bought it 43. I bought it the COSM top. Yep. So here we go. Here's exactly what happened. So I bought at 9:34. Bought another at 9:36. Bought 54. And then sold everything at 9:41. Okay, let's see what happened here. I see what happened. I missed the sale of the move. So I was in perfectly, but I held too long. That's what happened. And I couldn't stand the pullback. It pulled back to VWAP, and then it made a run again from 50 up to 65. And honestly, man, let's see. That was the missed move. Like, I was on the right track. My entries and my exits were just incorrect. That would have been a 19% on the day. That would have been just absolutely killer. And honestly, when I look at it, like, it wasn't a horrible day. Like, I'm still up based on percentages, 46% on the week. Lost 11% today. Again, the frustration comes from knowing that this is not a small battle. The frustration comes from knowing that this is more than earning money and giving money into the market. This is about coming face to face with yourself and realizing that you weren't the person you thought you were. And realizing that the person that you thought you were is farther off than you want them to be. Now, I'm going to say that again just for myself. Trading is not about the gain of money or the loss of money. Trading is about looking the person that you are in the eyes and realizing that you are not the person you thought you were or want to be. And the realization that that person is farther off than you hoped they were. That is what makes trading so powerful. It cuts through any lies that you told yourself that you might have been. Trading cuts through all of the BS, all of the pretend things you tell yourself to make yourself think that you are more capable, you are more disciplined, you are more. It cuts through all of that, cuts through the core of your mental abilities to focus and have discipline, and it reveals you. That is why trading is difficult. That is why traders lose. It's not because they don't know the setups. It's not because the market is so hard and harsh and it's efficient. No, it's because you are not the person mentally that you wanted to be. And it proved you were not when you entered and you weren't supposed to enter. That to me is why trading is so important to my journey as just a person. I realize now that I'm trading to become the person I want to become, not to make money. I don't know if I could speak to anyone and know the truth about their discipline and who they are until they try something like this. Because I consider myself a very disciplined person. I started a YouTube channel about 6 years ago. I woke up every day, 6 days a week. Woke up 6 days a week at 4:30 a.m. to work on that YouTube channel. Very slow growth. 6 years later, it now has become my full-time thing, but I had a full-time job that whole time. That took a lot of discipline, but not as much discipline as this takes. And the fact that I get the honor to refine myself and hopefully the financial benefit one day of refining myself into such a way that it will provide for my family, that is the fight. I think the hardest thing for me about a poor day of trading is knowing that it wasn't the size that messed me up. It was not knowing when it wasn't my day. Because for me, when it is my day, when I do see my setups, when I do make good entries and do make good exits, I could put in my entire account and do well. But the issue is when it's not my day and not my setups, and I enter anyway. The fear of missing out on the move is the most powerful, I guess you could say, like, I don't know, aphrodisiac, or it's so alluring. More than the actual making and earning of the percentage gains. So losing is more powerful. The fact that you might miss or lose, of course, we know this is FOMO, is more alluring than the actual win. Which is why I can sit here for an hour and a half, take 17 trades in and out, and keep going. I could have easily sat at that screen for another 3 hours and given back more and more and more and more and more. Because the desire to gain, the desire to get, and the fear of seeing something run up without me is more alluring than remembering that I traded well yesterday and that was good enough for the week. And that is what I want to just hammer into my conscious and in my decision making. Again, the reason this is so important is because if I don't get a grasp on this now, what does it look like when I start to feel more skilled and I start to have a bad day and my position sizes are anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000. Where right now my max position size is anywhere from $300 to $500. I think the most challenging thing that's in my head right now is, okay, if I'm only $9 down, I'm just one trade away from being $60 up. But what I've noticed is that when a day is somewhat down according to the setups that you know and play, again, we all have different setups that we're good at. Kind of across the board, it's just not working out. Or across the board, like everything's popping off. Right? So yesterday, I traded two just phenomenal trades. I mean, the best trades that I have ever made. Oh no, sorry, it was the day before. So the day before, just based on like seeing the pattern and taking it, I traded two positions that halted up. It was exhilarating. It truly was. It was so much fun. Um, I don't know where I was going with that, and I wish I had a replay. I wish I could play back what I just said. Okay, sorry. Yeah, now I know where I was at. Okay, when things are popping off, there's usually a couple stocks that are popping off at the same time, and that's what I found yesterday, right? So I made these entries and exits on these two stocks that were moving up with high volume, moving up so fast they were halting up, and there was multiple stocks doing that on the same day, right? The next day, PALI, absolute ripper. I could have had it from 310 up to 565. Just crazy. Fortunately, I stopped out at 304 and then it ripped up and halted up. But my point is, when stuff's moving, it's moving. You can't not make profit. You're bound to make profit if it's your position. I'm sorry, if it's your pattern and it's before you can't miss it. Compared to today, where I couldn't get anything. The biggest gain I made was 2%. Now the biggest loss was 5%, right? But I was in such size that the ratio was just all jacked up. And again, like, you might be laughing at me. You say, Ben, you made $106 yesterday and you gave back 86 today. Like, you're fine. It is the fact. Again, I'll repeat this again, and this is just my journal. I'm just working through this emotionally. It is the fact that I have come face to face with myself, and I thought I was better than I was. And that is what motivates me to keep going at this. Because small losses should feel devastating. And that is what I'm trying to foster in myself, is that small losses are just as critical and detrimental as losses that, are tens of thousands of dollars, because I want to curb the foolishness that happened today. Okay. If let's just say a trade didn't go in my favor, I thought it was going to do what it was going to do, but for whatever reason it cut back and it just went against me, I would be totally fine with that. The problem is, all morning I took trades that I wasn't quite sure on, just for the sake of doing it. I traded out of boredom. I traded out of greed. I traded out of a desire to get, not a desire to obey. Here's what I mean. If my setup is present, I'm obeying my rules. If my setup isn't present, I'm disobeying my rules. Until I learn a new pattern similar to what I was trying to trade today, I have no right to be in that trade. And that is what needs to be honed in and just beat into my head if I'm going to become a better person, a better trader, and ultimately become profitable at this. Now, some people might say, well, Ben, just don't day trade. Like, 93% of 91% of day traders fail. You're just like everybody else. You're just going to fail. I believe you only fail because A, you didn't come face to face with yourself and realize that you were the problem, not the market. I was the problem, not the market. And B, because you went into this for money, not for developing your character. Because you can trade all day long with one share and never blow up an account. You might spend a lot of time doing it, but when I trade little to no size, I could trade for 10 years with my account, because literally if I lost every day for 10 years, but only winning one share, I mean, thousands of days can be traded because you're only losing a couple cents per trade. The reason people lose, and again, this is just me realizing and talking to myself and trying to put words to how to not end this, how to succeed at this. Talking to myself when people have said, don't do that. That's risky. That's dangerous. Yes, it is. But I want to conquer risky and dangerous things. Why would I want to play safe? That doesn't make sense. I think you can play risk with good rules. This is the foundation of good rules. Feeling the pain of losing when it's small is the foundation of building good rules and good discipline. Reading in the Daily Trading Coach, failure is not focused on will lead to future failures. So what I mean by that is if I fail a day and I don't sit here in that failure and I don't mull it over and feel it and feel the overwhelming pain of that failure, it will not set itself. Because let me tell you, this was less than last week. I think last week on my really poor day, let's see here. So my really poor day, I gave back, oh my gosh, same amount, 86. Okay, so same amount, but it was over 2 days. I think I gave back like 30 and then 56. So yeah, it was exactly 86. But I stopped. Still didn't stop fast enough. And again, this is like clarifying my weakness. And I want to sit in that weakness. I want to look at it. I want to turn it around and flip it over and talk about it and look through it. And don't deny it. It wasn't the market. The market went up. I lost in stocks that were going up. That is me. And to turn away from that, to deny that, to walk away and say day trading doesn't work, or I failed day trading, totally false. I failed myself if I walk away from this. Because you, Ben, talking to myself, but I often say you, I'm working on that. I will carry that failure, that lack of discipline, that fear of missing out, that financial overwhelmness into everything I do. Trading is the instrument at which you are revealed. What are you going to do with that revelation? Again, speaking to myself. That's everything. I've listened to many talks and had conversations with people, and they haven't ever sat down with themselves and mulled over the failure in such a way that the root cause was revealed. Right? It's not that the market win against you. It's not that you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, maybe sometimes you were, but in these scenarios, in investing, trading, I'm speaking specifically of financial scenarios where you have your finger on the mouse or on the pen writing a contract per se, and you made a decision. And so in talking to these people, I'm now realizing, being in this situation myself, that they didn't face and flesh out the loss. They didn't allow the loss to change them for the better. I want the losses to change me for the better. In essence, when it comes to day trading, you're stimulating and exaggerating in minutes what it feels like to fail. What it feels like to have an external source that you entered into just completely humiliate you and show you that you didn't have what it took in that moment to make a good decision. And if I can continue to sit face to face with myself, because that's what this journal is, the weaknesses can't hide. They have to be cut out. I'll admit right now, looking, and again, it's foolish to look at P&L here, but I did anyway, and I do anyway. It's human nature to want to know how you're doing. I'm afraid of the next trading day, just like I was last week. I came into Monday and I was very nervous. That's not a bad thing. I think that's what I'm realizing. I think I have to come into every day knowing that if my setup isn't present, I should be afraid. I should be afraid of myself because I am prone to make very poor decisions in the face of desiring something that is not present. Ross Cameron is a popular YouTuber who talks about day trading. He says, don't trade the market you want to trade the market that's there. He says it probably a lot better, not just like that. And again, it comes down to my saying of force for failure, but follow favor. This journal's been about 38 minutes, and I've probably said the same thing over and over, but that's totally fine with me. I don't want to forget how it feels after I've had a moment where I've done the wrong thing. I want to create a fossil out of that emotion. What I mean by that is I don't want it to disappear. I want it to sit on my desk. I want to feel the weight of those poor decisions so that I can be a more responsible, disciplined, and accurate trader. So, what does it look like to trade better tomorrow? I think one thing that I don't value enough is the overall temperature of the day. So one thing that my friend, we'll call him Dylan, because his name isn't Dylan. Dylan talks about is he always keeps an observation on the overall temperature of the market. I'm a very kind of laser focused type of person. And I'm not very good at that. So I think that that is one of the first things I should consider is what is the overall movement and vibe of the market. Monday and Tuesday this week, there were big runners, big gap and goes firing off. You know, even as the market opened, I said, okay, nothing really looks super strong, Ben. Just kind of wait, sit back, see if anything takes off. Again, COSM did take off. It was my kind of setup. I just didn't play it well. I think that was probably, when I look back and saw how I played COSM, that was very disappointing. Because that would have been a good play. That would have been the play that kind of set me out for the day and said, okay, that's good. Took a 15% gain, more than I aim for, which is just a green day. Because when you don't get a green day, you usually get a massive red day because you just get that shovel out. And then you find the backhoe, and then you find, the bigger backhoe, and then you just keep digging a hole. But yeah, what I just keep coming back to is this wasn't about the trades I made. It was the fact that I made the trades at all. And that I bounced all over the place. So again, getting back to on a positive note. Better for me to watch trades run away from me that I'm not on board than to enter a trade unknowing of its future. It not performing in a way that I understand. I'm upset about the day, but I wouldn't trade the day for a different day. I wouldn't trade this day for another yesterday, for another 39% gainer. Because this day tells me more about myself than yesterday did. Yesterday, I found a good entry. I took it. It performed well. That didn't tell me much about myself. And I think often that's where we get off as humans. We think the victories are the definition of our abilities and character, when really it's a 2% red day that talks more about somebody's character than an 80% green day. Since I've started trading with larger position sizes, I'm amazed at my lack of character. My lack of conviction. Some on the table over there. On a slow day, it's more impressive. On any day, it's more impressive to take a 1% to 2% loss day than it is to turn it around into a 25% green day. I think that out of all of this, I think that is what this day is meant to me. So it's more impressive, maybe more valuable. More valuable to take a 5% red day, then turn it around into a 25% green day. And the key is discipline. That's the key. And I think that's why most day traders lose. Because to take a 5% red day takes discipline, humility, admitting that you were wrong, and meekness. Meekness is power under control. In a 5% red day, my first trade, let's check this. So my first trade, order status, was $110 shares. So 110 at times 1.79. Okay, let's see if that's correct. So 179. And then I sold that at 170. So $196. So 196 minus 1, what is this? 87. So my first trade, I lost $9. So I ended up nearly 10xing the loss on the day. And so that, I think, is the biggest takeaway for myself. And my wife and I have even talked about this. We've talked about if I go red, on my first trade, that's it. Just go out, especially if I've had a really good green day before, because green days, I think, produce overconfidence. And that's honestly what wins do. I think wins inflate your positive perspective of yourself, when in fact, it is the negative attributes of your person that are going to be more detrimental. And when you inflate the positive attributes of yourself, and you deflate the negative ones, there's where you have an imbalance. So for me, thinking that, okay, I can figure out a turnaround here, was very foolish. So $9, I'd be up, still up $115 on the week or so. Instead, I think I'm up like, again, talking about P&L here, but just thinking through this. Let's see. $71 in the week. Still good. Yeah, last week was a big loss, so up 71. My account's slowly kind of creeping back up from a big loss I took about 5 weeks ago. But yeah, 10x the loss. So it's 89.89 is the loss for the day. And if I would have cut the red day, going red right off the bat, it's not always a telltale sign, because on yesterday on PALI, I went red 2%, because I sold too quickly. But then it started just completely ripping. And so that was proof that I was barking up the right tree. However, that was it. That was the only trade I did. Okay. I'm going to kind of just cement these into my head. This was the longest trading journal I've ever done because repeating mistakes is a clear identifier of a pattern that needs to be addressed. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sure if you have watched this whole thing, which I doubt people have, but if they have, this is what I want you to leave with. Mull over your character, who you are, the decisions you make. Coming face to face with yourself is the most powerful thing you could do. People too often do things in life so that they're not revealed, not so that they are revealed. Trading is one of the greatest tools to reveal who you truly are. The question is, are you going to allow that tool to be a catalyst to change you, or just simply say that trading doesn't work or that X doesn't work, and allow yourself to still live in the lie of who you really are? That would be my takeaway for anybody. That's the takeaway for myself today, and that's why I'm not giving up. I'll see you guys here in the next journal.